Hello again, Year 3. It's Miss Lewis here again, back for your Friday maths lesson. Okay, so today we are looking at multiplying with regrouping, which is sort of a bit of a fancy way of saying we're going to be doing some carrying over today in our long multiplication column method. So let's first take a look at our in focus task. Here we have a fish tank. There's lots of different coloured fish in them. Let's read our question. One tank has 23 fish. How many fish are there in 4 tanks? Pause the video, have a think. What number sentence would you need to write to answer this question? Okay, so we could do 23 add 23 add 23 add 23 to find out how many fish there are in 4 tanks. But I think there's a more efficient method, and I think you probably worked that out. So I think our number sentence is going to be 23 times by 4. Okay, there we go. And we have got very helpful speech bubble over here saying use space 10 to help you multiply. Okay, I am going to dive into the method we were using yesterday then. So I'm going to partition my 23 into 20 and 3. I'm going to do 3 times 4, which I know is 12. And then I'm going to do 20 times 4 over here, which if I'm not sure of, I know I can do 2 times 4. I know 2 times 4 is 8, and then times 8 by 10 to get 80. And then I'm going to add these two numbers together. So I know that 80 add 12 is going to be 92. Let's take a little look then at the different methods that they have used. Okay, so helpfully here we have got some base 10 to help us. We've got 20, 2 tens, and 3 ones. There are 4 groups of 23 fish. How do we multiply 23 by 4? So just like yesterday, step 1, multiply the ones by 4. And they are using here our column method. Okay, so we've got 4 times 3 and we get 12. And remember, we need to write 12 like this, because in 12 the 1 is in the tens column and the 2 is in the ones column. If we look over here, we've got 12 ones. And what they've done is they've taken 10 of the ones and exchanged it or regrouped it into 1 10. Okay, so they've taken the 10 ones and they've turned it into 1 10, this yellow block here. She's saying 3 ones times 4 is 12 ones, and 12 ones is the same as 1 10 and 2 ones. We know that from our place value work. So looking down, we don't need to look down, we need to look across. For the next step, okay, the next step is to multiply the tens by 4. Okay, so we're not counting this one that we just made, our yellow one, we're not counting that. We have got 2 tens, and we need to multiply them by 4. So like before, if I need to know, 2 times 4 is 8. Multiply that by 10 and we get 80. Remember, we need to write that in our tens column, and then there's nothing in our ones column. Okay, and we can see here the representation of it in base 10. We have got now 80, 8 tens. 2 tens times 4 is 8 tens, he says. Step 3 then, add the product, so add our answers. So here is where we use this 10 that we exchanged, this yellow 10 here. Okay, so you can add all those together. Have a go at counting through these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tens. and 1, 2 ones, or we can do that in our column. Okay, so 2 add 0 is 2, 1 add 8 is 9. So it's just the same method as yesterday, but this time there's going to be something in our tens column. Let's go on to our guided practice then. Make sure you've got that in front of you so we can look through it together. Actually, before our guided practice, we have got another go at doing this together. This time we're finding the product of 25 and 4. So remember what product means? That's when we times two things together. Okay, so our number sentence here is going to be 25 times 4. Let's look at the method then. Step 1, multiply the ones by 4. They've helpfully put it into the column for us. So we've done 4 times 5 and we know that that is 20. Okay, so looking at the diagram here, we have got 20 ones which can be exchanged or regrouped for 2 tens. 20 ones becomes 2 tens. Then step 2, we're multiplying the tens, so 4 times 20. If we're not sure of 4 times 20, we can do 4 times 2, which gives us 8, and then times that by 10. So we get 8 tens, which is 80. And we write it down here below. Okay, then all that is left is step 3, which is where we add our products together. So we're adding our 20 and our 80. Okay, 0 add 0 is 0. Then 2 add 8, well, we know that they are number bonds. So 2 add 8 is going to make 10. So we write it like this. Okay, 20 add 80 equals 100. Okay, which means that 25 times 4 is 100. We've popped those tens in and we don't have any ones to spare. Method 2. Some people might just know that already. It's one of our common number facts that we might have learnt already, that 4 lots of 25 is 100. So here she's saying 25 add 25 is 50, and we know that 50 add 50 is 100. So if you know the answer, you can use a different method of working it out in your head. Now it's finally time for our guided practice, so make sure you have got that ready and let's go. Okay, here's our guided practice then. For our question 1, they've helpfully partitioned it for us. So what I want you to have a go at is doing this by yourself. See if you can do it. If you're finding it tricky, don't pause the video and follow along with me. So my first question is 18 times 3. We've partitioned our 18 into 8 and 10 to help us. First step then, we're going to come to our column and we're going to do 3 times 8. Okay? You might need some counting up to help you. I'm going to count up. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. That's 8 times I get to. So 24 is going to be our answer here. Make sure you're writing it in the right column. 20 goes in the tens column and the 4 goes in the ones column. Okay. Next step then is to multiply the 10. So we're doing 3 times 10. Okay. You can look over here if you need help. 3 times 10. I know that that is 30. Okay. Now all that's left is to add them up. So 4 add 0 is 4. 2 add 3 is 5. So I'm going to come in here and put my answer as 54. Okay, it's called regrouping because we are popping our answer here into the tens, and if we were using base 10, you'd be able to see that we are exchanging the 24 ones into 2 tens and 4 ones. Next question then. Same method. I've split my 34 into 30 and 4. So I'm going to do 5 times 4, which is my ones. 5 times 4, I know that that is 20. And then I'm going to do 5 times 30. If I'm not sure, I'm going to quickly in my head do 5 times 3. 5, 10, 15. That's 15. And I times that by 10 to get 150. There we go. Now we add them together. 0, 0, 0. 2 add 5 is 7. And then we bring our 100 down here. So our answer to 34 times 5 is 170. Okay, these questions then, find the product of 29 and 4. I'm going to come down here and draw out my column. So I'm going to do 29 and 4. If you need to partition 29 out to help you, that's fine. I'm going to start by multiplying the ones. 4 times 9, I know that that is 36. So I'm going to write it in. Then I multiply the tens. 4 times 20, I know that that is 80. Okay, I've run out of room here on my page, but I'm going to add it up anyway. 6 add nothing is 6. I'll do it over here. 3 add 8. I know that that is 11. So my answer to this one is 116. Coming here, 8 and 16 then. I'll do it up here to give me more space. Write my 16 first. My 8 underneath it. A little times sign so I know that's what I'm doing. I forgot that on my last one. Ooh, wiggly line. First step, multiply the ones. 8 times 6. This is a bit of a tricky one, but I know that 8 times 6 is 48. But it's okay to count up if you need to. Then I multiply the tens. 8 times 10. I know that 8 times 10 is 80. Okay, and then we add them up. You draw a little plus sign here so we know that we are adding. 8 add 0 is 8. 4 add 8 is 12. Okay, so our answer to this one is 128. There we go. Last question then, 57 and 2, which is 57 times 2. Remember, we're finding the product, which means we times the two numbers together. Oh, let's get rid of that one. I see the wrong numbers. 57 times by 2. Okay, first times the ones. 2 times 7, I know that's 14. So write it in my right columns. 2 times 50, now I know that's 100. 2 lots of 50 is 100. Okay, then I add them together. 4 add nothing is 4. 1 add nothing is 1. And then we carry out 1 down. So this one then, our answer is 114. Well done on that guided practice. I know it is a little bit tricky, but now we're going to move on to our worksheet. Okay, make sure you have got your workbooks open to page 120. It's worksheet 4. And I'll do the first one with you to help you see how you can set it out. Okay, so the first one we're doing is 65 times 2, and really helpfully we have got the column out here for us already. Remember step 1, multiply the ones. 2 times 5. I count up in 5s, 5, 10. That's 2 5s, I've got 10. Next step then, multiply the tens. 2 times 60. Okay, I'm going to do 2 times 6, because that's easier for me. I know that's 12, and then I times that by 10 to get 120. Then our third step is to add them up. 0 add 0 is 0. 1 add 2 is 3. And then we bring our 1 down and we get 130. And hopefully you will be writing these a lot more neater than I am. Pause the video to do your worksheet then. There are 4 questions, all using the same method, and then we'll go through the answers together. Here's our answers then. We see we got the first one right, 130. The second one, question B, you should have got 135. Remember, multiply the ones, multiply the tens, add them together. Question C, 152. Again, multiply the ones, 4 times 8 is 32. Multiply the tens, 4 times 30 is 120. Add them together. And then the last question here is 216. Bit of a trickier times table here. We had to do 8 times 7, which is 56. It's a bit of a trickier one. Then 8 times 2, or 8 times 20 is 160, and we added them together. So well done if you get any of those right. Like I keep saying, it is a bit tricky, but I think we're doing really well on this. If you've worked really hard today and think that's enough maths learning for the day, that's fine. You can stop our lesson now. If you want some more of a challenge, keep watching the video as we go on to our extension tasks. Okay then, here are our challenges for today. We've got 3 different questions. Work through them, then I'll show you the answers and I will choose one question to go through. So pause the video here. Okay, so here are our answers. Pause the video if you want to check those. And then I am going to go through one of the problems. So the problem I've chosen is Mr. Lund and his pencils, okay? It says there are 24 pencils in a packet. Mr. Lund buys 8 packets. How many pencils does Mr. Lund have? So I need to work out what my number sentence is going to be. Let's start then. We have got 24 pencils in a packet. 24. And he buys 8 packets. So I could do 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24. That's a little bit excessive. Let's find a more efficient method. We're going to do 24 times by 8. Okay, to do this we'll use our column method that we've been learning today. 24 and 8 just below it. Remember to put our times sign so we remember what we're doing. Okay, step 1, multiply the ones. 8 times 4, I know that's 32. Okay, then multiply the tens. 8 times 20. Okay, 8 times 2 is 16. So 8 times 20 is 160. There we go. And then we add those 2 numbers together. Okay, 2 add 0 is 2. 3 add 6 is 9. And nothing add 1 is 1. Okay, so there we go. 192 pencils for Mr. Lund. That's a lot of pencils. Well done for doing that challenge, and well done on such a great week of super maths. We'll be here again on Monday for our next lesson. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.